Hi, welcome to Respec Marauder's leveling guide, continuing with Crew. Act 1 was a breeze. One thing to note from Act 2, do not rush Northern Forest, even though you know the way. There are some ridiculous combination of monsters you can spawn, so take it easy here. Just kill the monsters, go slow. Devourer's always nasty. And there's an unique here as well. The blood magic gems really paid off, making things really easy. Val is the same as normal, still have the heavy strike. And when you're entering Act 3, it's still using Ice Grass in the free link. At least one of the two, either Ice Grass or Leap Slam, should be having blood magic. One thing to note is that start using Blood Rage, still using the Bloodlands boots. These are high rolled, 30% chance of gaining a frenzy charge, but you should be able to pick up the low rolls for a very cheap price. Also note that starting Act 3, I'd like to have a bit more focus on armor, so I want to have a helm and a chest that combined should be over 1000 armor. Like in normal, just buying or hoping to find gloves and boots, and I'm rolling chest and helm myself when I find a 4-link from the vendor. DPS of the Joffrey's mace is still awesome, so no need to change that. The tree looks like this. I'm going to the lower side of the Duelist. There's some life leech nodes there and I like to try it out. Probably the most efficient way would be to go to the Master of the Arena as quick as you can. Taking the upper route. As you see, I passed by Unwavering Stance. I'm not gonna take that right now since I have 20% evasion. Here's an overview of the gear. It's always hard to make decisions about gear in hardcore, whether to upgrade or not. So it's good to set goals, like the armor chest idea I got, like I want to have 1000 armor on those. One of the things I'm looking forward to is replacing the Joffreys, so I've used the website XIZ to search for one. I found one and I bought one, and so it's a goal to reach that level to be able to use the weapon. So taking some life leech rate notes. It seems it wasn't that a good decision after all. Life leech rate notes makes you leech the maximum amount faster, but the maximum stays the same. So not really worth it. That's the mace, it's a nice upgrade. I'm looking forward to use that. Here are the chests I saved up for crafting. I want to upgrade my chest and helm to 1000, so preparing for that. Always checking the vendors each level. Looking for helms and chests and if need be, a good weapon.
You getting there?
You can also get your chromatics this way if you have enough transmutes. Yeah. Here's a 4-link. And that's just perfect. Good amount of armor. So depending on your currency, you now decide how to roll it. Definitely quality up the weapon, and probably at this stage you have a couple elves and a couple chaos, so don't get greedy. See something you like, immediately stop. So that's 3 rolls on it, armor, 2 resist. The third one we can craft. You don't want to spend 4 chaos, but the alterations will do. This is Spine Snap, a nasty unique. This is a good benchmark to see how you're doing. If he's not that threatening, you're doing just fine. As you saw, the degen era didn't do much, and here's Cole. Another good benchmark. Hardcore, it's probably the wisest thing to just skip it, but I'd like to see what he can do. As you can see, with Granite up and Fortify, he's okay, but the Granite ran out, so should have reset my Granite potions there, so didn't really feel comfortable. So now I'm gonna check out what I can do with Heavy Strike. Again, the Granite is empty now, so no more armor buff. He seems to be stunning okay. So if you want to kill him, this is probably the way to go. However, I'm not too comfortable with that. The chances are still there that you can die.
Stay out of the shadow.
Another 4-link. But since we have one already, it's rolled and used. We're not gonna bother. So up to piety, I equipped the pass flask, of course, for the lightning storm. Clearing the blue portals. I've dropped heavy strike, as you can see, to see if we can handle it with just Ice Crash. Seems to be okay. Oh, not much trouble there. Right, time to look at the weapons. Here's the old, I think that was Alteration Orpex, still looks nice. This is a Spiny Mole, still good upgrade, but since we bought the Dread Mole, we're not gonna use those other ones. We're just gonna continue like it is. We're level 50 now, so things are going good. We've taken all the mace notes on the bottom we're going to take the Marauder life and remove the path above with the damage nodes, and we're going to do that when we've upgraded our weapon. Our DPS will be much higher, so we could take a bit more life. Right, this is what the old axe looks like when you make it a bit more shiny. A regal and a vegan recipe, and as you can see, that's a very good axe for level 23. So if you're doing the self-found thing, you can make some really decent weapons. Level 50, like Act 3 normal, that's the moment I stop and I going to work on my flask. And this is always gonna take some time, but I'm not racing. I'm just like going like a juggernaut. Take it easy, don't die, and you will make it. So I saved all these old flasks to upgrade. Now what we're looking for is some bleed. The instant version of the Sanctified won't be that much better than the Hellhound. We are using a remove curse potion in the middle. It's a healing one. I prefer to use a Quicksilver with remove curse since it lasts so long. And if you're using a healing flask with remove curse, once you're full life, the flask stops working, so you can be cursed again. So in the middle spots I'd like to have a bleed, so we need a Sanctify with bleed, and the Quicksilver needs to become an anti-curse. So there's a bleeding one at least. An instance, yes, you can see it's not better than the level 42 because that's a slow flask. The Sanctified one is a fast flask. So always checking defenders. Even for flasks, it might save you a lot of trouble. You can always try to buy these flasks. So turning in 5 for a new one. So we're kind of stuck right now. We have to use alteration orbs. That's a bummer. That's just perfect. Best scenario, it would be increased recovery speed, but that's good enough. So now we need a new remove cursing flask. As you can see, I save up all my utility flasks. Since this is an endgame flask, that Quicksilver you can keep forever. It's a good idea to invest some quality on it. I've picked up all the quality flasks and I'm now trying to find some to fender them into a bubble. So fiddling around with all this loot, it can take a lot of time, but in my opinion it's worth it. This can be tricky, trying to roll it. So I roll the movement flask, and there's probably somebody who wants to buy that one. So I'm gonna pick a new flask and roll it. Again, that's something somebody wants to buy. Moving with a puncture is deadly, so if you move and you automatically remove the bleeding, that's a very good combo. So that one's going to sell. Same goes for this one. Do note that the remove curse mod has an item level requirement, so you press and hold Alt to double check you're not picking up an Act 1 quest reward. That's level 2, that cannot roll it. A bit laggy here. A good tip is when you're lagging, don't craft. You might overwrite a roll you want to have, or you might desync and you get some weird results, or you might disconnect and the server crash and you get a rollback. Well, there we have one. Perfect. Best scenario would probably be increased charges gained, but ample is good enough. So we're now completely set up. I've started using a sapphire flask. Since we'll be going unwavering stance and we're playing with lockstep, it's a good idea to remove all impairing buffs and debuffs on you, so you have a smooth ride. With sapphire flask you're gonna be chilled, so you always be running around at the same speed, and it's good against reflect, since roughly 75% of our damage is cold. We'll be using a sapphire flask for reflect endgame, so better start using it. It's time to grind to 54, since we didn't like cold much and PD either. We done that in docks, taking it safe, over leveled, but that's no problem. The hardest part about playing chicken is knowing when to flinch. So when you're crafting, you have to know when you gotta stop. If we're going to link that mace, we have to stop at an appropriate time when our currency is depleted. So you grab all your currency so you can see everything, and you start. Well, since we have a decent amount of jewelers, we have some time to get a 6 socket or 5 socket, and if we get a 5 socket we will stop. The chances are very low of improving. So 5 sockets means stop, and the goal is to create a 4 link. The alterations are our emergency stacks, so we only use that when things go very, very wrong. As you can see, socketing the item is rather expensive. We're better off rolling it ourselves. So we've had a 4 socket, but we still have enough jewelers, so we're continuing, and that's very lucky. Now we can stop here with a 4 link, but that weapon we'll be using for some time, so it's worth to continue. Again, we use the jewelers as backup if things go wrong. We have to get a 4 link before we're depleted, and that's a 5 link. That's very, very lucky. It's unlikely you can accomplish that with this amount of orbs. But because we rolled, we have a chance, and that's all we need. So then we have to figure out our configuration of the gems. For Leap Slam, the ideal combination would be faster attack, Sleep Slam, Blood Magic, Endurance charges on melee stun, and missing one, Fortify. But since we do not have a 5-link for Ice Crash, it's probably best to put Ice Crash in the 5-link. You could use Hypothermia in a 5-link with Ice Crash, but since we do not have Temporal Change on hit, and the Hypothermia doesn't have quality, we like to get a blue socket in there. Here you see the ideal Leap Slam configuration, but we rather have Ice Crash in there. So if we put Leap Slam in a 4-link with faster attacks and Blood Magic, that leaves only one gem for Fortify or Endurance Charge on melee stun. So if we choose Endurance Charge on melee stun, that means Ice Crash will have Fortify in the configuration. So that means we will have Ice Crash, Fortify, melee physical damage, and that leaves 2. I personally like the option to have increased area of effect, and you can swap that one with concentrated effect for bosses. So looks like I've decided to go for weapon elemental damage at first, before going with increased area effect and concentrated effect, and that's because I do not have enough intelligence at this moment. We don't have enough intelligence for Chaos Column either, but it's perfectly fine to run a Flame Golem. Gives extra damage. Right, that's all set up again. So that free spot in the maze, we could decide to put in Rallying Cry, although that's not really needed since we're running 2 Blood Magic gems on both Leap Slam and Ice Crash. The DPS increased enormously. So that means we got time to, it's a time to respect some more life. We're removing those, and we can continue somewhere else. Some more life. We could take the life leech rate nodes to test some more, but like I said, they're not ideal. It makes you fill up your pool. That can be wait, this is difficult. Let me try and explain. You have a pool of leech life that's going to be poured into your life at a maximum rate of 20% of your maximum life per second, and that pool is going to be filled up with 2% of your maximum life per hit per target. So you cannot fill it up really quickly if you're hitting 1 target. If you're hitting 5 targets, it goes pretty quick. If you use life leech rate, it will fill up even more quickly. However, you still will only gain 20% of your maximum life each second. That's the cap. And life leech rate does another thing, and that is it will speed up the process. So that means if you stop hitting a boss and run away for a boss mechanic, something nasty like a file smash, and you run away with if you have increased life leech rates, you will stop gaining life much sooner than if you wouldn't have those nodes. So there's a downside as well. Here you can see I took some ints, I put in area of effect and concentrated effect, so I can swap around when needed. The DPS is really decent now. Picked up Chaos Golem to level up, but that's not really gonna go smooth. So back at Cole, we've upgraded a lot of things, and we're gonna see how this goes. If this goes the way we want. So we're stunning him a bit and we're hitting him hard. This is how I feel comfortable running on. So we're going to set some goals, new ones. We want to end up with a carcass jack, but in the meanwhile we should be looking for an astral plate, preferably buy one of high item level, and it can be rolled pretty decent. But still, it might take a lot of chaos to get a good astral. And you might be better off buying a good Crusader instead. As you can see, I bought a 59, level 59 chest piece. So I've grinded docks or whatever, taking my time, upgraded gear, the chest, and I went for Dominus. I equipped a Topaz Flask, of course, and removed the Quicksilver for an extra bleed one.
Now you almost resemble a man.
As a normal, don't get swarmed by the monsters. Take your time, lure them down. One by one, there aren't that much of a problem. Together, there might be. So again, on hardcore, discipline, patience is the key. You can get quite tanky with Fortify and the Topaz at the same time.
This world is an illusion, exile.
But this time we're going to reset our Flask for a stage 2 fight. As you can see, the armor doesn't work, the damage is excellent. No troubles at all.
Hello.
So It's always good to sell the gems you can get cheap for a chance orb. There's still people wanting to buy gems, even though they know you only paid one chance for it. The blood red gems sell as well. They will still pay good money for it. So, for example, the blood magic gem, people on the beta realm paid 1 chaos for it, even though the trading was abysmal on the beta. As you can see, they offer 1 chaos. When the awakening comes, I know for sure people will still pay now, and perhaps a chaos for blood magic as well. So it's a nice way to flip your chance orbs into chaos orbs. So Act 4, Aqueduct is a nice way to grind, and Dried Lake. Dried Lake is perfect for our character because we have a lot of armor and we have a bleed flask. So we're gonna check out if we can do it without blood magic. Because we like to get an extra damage gem in there and remove the blood magic from Ice Crash. If we remove blood magic, we'll have to use Rallying Cry some more for extra mana regen. So still doesn't feel that good. So what if we remove blood magic from Leech Slam? Now that's a tricky one, because Leech Slam is linked to Fortify, and if you're out of mana when you want to have Fortify, that could be problematic. So by removing blood magic from Leech Slam, we won't be able to travel very far before the mana runs out. And the problem isn't that we don't have enough mana leech, but it's the pool. The pool is very small. So we have Herald of Ash and Hatred. We could make our pool a little bit bigger if we remove increased burning damage from Herald of Ash. It's not really that needed at this stage of the game. So like I said, this is perfect for armor. We have a good amount of armor. This area is mostly physical, so perfect for us. Here you see a reflect monster. This will look a bit different when Awakening comes out, but we have the granite and the sapphire to solve that. Right, the unique boss spawns here when you see the book on the overlay map, and you don't want to have the boss doing extra damage. You have to lure this mob or kill it before the boss comes. Yeah. Some attacks like this one you want to avoid, but since we have that much armor, we can take a few. That one was evaded, I think. The charge attack can be avoided, but still, we have enough armor. We can take a hit, as you can see. And don't forget, a lot of people want to do this run, and a lot of people will be dying here on hardcore because they greed for the boss drops, while they cannot take much of a beating. But we will be running this without magic find, but it will be good XP and we'll get some drops. So now we swapped a gem for increased area of effect, and we can swap that blue gem in the mace for concentrated effect when the boss comes. The armor with the granite is pretty decent. Our intelligence is still low, so in the future we're looking to get a helm or some jewelry with a lot of ink. Now you leap in, you kill the pack as usual, that's the whole idea. As you can see, the ice crash is getting pretty big now. That's another unique in this area. Usually skip it, sometimes you kill it. Doesn't drop that great. These archers can do tornado shot and people get completely wrecked by it. But got the armor, so no problems. Always kill the champion packs. When I run this area I stick to the left side, and when I can go left I should go left, otherwise the boss is somewhere at the bottom. So this is the entrance to the boss room. You could even decide to run 2 granites here. With swapping in concentrator effect for some more damage. You would do it outside the fence. You can evade the boss attacks, as you can see, but you're gonna mess up sooner or later, and then you have the confidence of being able to take a hit. As you can see, pretty decent drops. So I found an upgrade, a better mace, but since it isn't 5-linked, it's probably not worth it to invest currency in, so we're not going to use it. Here you see the Respec pack, sapphire and granite, as you can see top of your screen, and thorn flesh shouldn't be that much of a problem, especially in cruel, and we don't do much damage. So divination cards. There seems to be a lot of randomness in them, so be careful. When, for example, if you see a card called Gladiator, the picture shows Bringer of Rain. But there's actually another helmet, another unique, I think it's Devotos you can get. So knowledge is key when concerning divination cards. Alright, well this wraps it up for Cruel. I'll be making the next one for Merciless. Alright, thanks for watching.